Hey, welcome to the James Show. You're home for Kelly Clarkson. What are you doing in there? Are you just pushing any random button? Oh, I'll play that. Whatever. This is supposed to be a manly show. We need manly music. Not the beautiful girl from Burleson singing a breakup song. Anyway, on the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. You hear references to my hometown of Bugtussle, and this is got various aspects to it. Number one is you probably don't know where I'm from. I'm a native Texan, and I really only grew up about an hour and a half that way. But it's from a town so small that if you drive an hour in any direction, most people don't know it. I mean, do you know? My home address was from a town called Arp growing up. Do you know where Arp is? A-R-P? There's a guy running for mayor of Arp. The election's on Saturday, just like we have to go to the ballot box on Saturday. And the picture on the website where it announces he's running, he's wearing a T-shirt. Okay, this is where I'm from. So, for simplicity's sake, my world growing up revolved around Tyler. That's where I was born. And if you wanted to go to an Applebee's, that's where you had to go. That's not where I grew up. Like, that's not where our house was. It was in a hay pasture in the middle of nowhere, 30 acres. And it wasn't in a town. It wasn't even really close to a town. It's kind of by Overton, kind of by Arp, kind of by Tyler. So I just used Bugtussle as like a general catch-all term for that. And currently I have a house that's in another little triangle. It's kind of in a triangle between Flint and Bullard and kind of close to Tyler. And so I just use the term Bugtussle for all that. But it's also helpful because if you're from like Commerce, or if you're from Alvarado, or if you're from Whitney, you come from the exact same lifestyle and culture and people and demographic mix and ridiculous focus on football as me. So you know exactly what I'm going through. If you're from a Bugtussle, then you know exactly what I mean by that. However, at WeatherCon, there's a lot of people who line up, and if you sit at the table, they'll want to meet you and talk to you. And 4 different people asked me about Bugtussle. One of them asked me about it because she was from Tyler too, and she's like, "Did you say that Bugtussle is Tyler?" Yes, and so she thought that was cool. A couple of them thought it was a real town and they wanted to know where it was at. And I had to explain, no, this is just a catch-all theater of the mind term that I use. Plus it's comedic and it's a little more wide-ranging. And instead of only including people from a town of 600, it feels inclusive to anybody who comes from a small to medium-sized town. So one of the other immediate parts of that conversation inevitably was, I love your stories about it. You should talk about it more. Well, no, I shouldn't. There's not enough that goes on out there that merits a regular Bugtussle segment. Because one of the 4 people said, maybe you should do like a weekly segment. Like, hey, it's Monday. Let's check in on Bugtussle. There's not enough that happens out there for me to have a weekly segment. You don't understand. But I think a lot of people who grow up in a big city and you turn on the news and you see that, you think that's what the news is like everywhere. It's not. You drive 2 hours any direction from a major metropolitan area, and when you're in rural America, there's no murders. And when I say there's no murders, I'm saying there's few murders. In something like 70% of the counties in America, there's either 0 or 1 murder last year. Like in Tyler, it's a pretty big town. It's over 100,000 people now. It wasn't when I grew up there, but even in being 100,000 people in 2019, there were 0 murders in Tyler. It happens. So let me give you just like, if I tried to shoehorn and force a Bugtussle segment in, let me give you a rundown of some of the news that happened in Bugtussle lately. Number 1 from my old station, the NBC affiliate in Bugtussle. Here's the headline: Dairy Queen caught on fire after lightning strike. That doesn't even sound like real news. That sounds like I came up with a skit making fun of small towns. That sounds like Saturday Night Live is doing a TV station bit about some small town in East Texas. Dairy Queen caught fire from a lightning strike. That's hilarious. Will that really happen? It's kind of embarrassing if I did a Bugtussle segment. You would know exactly how trifling and unimportant my hometown, my background is. Here's another one. Tell me how Bugtussle this sounds. Texas game wardens seize more than $100,000 of bass fishing equipment at bass tournaments. Someone went through the parking lot and I think they stole a bass boat or something. We had a bass boat theft. See, it's different. It's different in Dallas. In Dallas, a couple weeks ago, they had a block party. There was a shooting. 9 people got hit. A 21-year-old girl died. I mean, in some parts of Dallas, you turn on the news, you feel like the streets are flowing with blood. But what's the big issue we had? Someone stole a bass boat at a fishing tournament. Here's another one. Henderson business owner shot on Friday in an attempted robbery. Oh, violent crime. That happened. Now, I don't know the details, but I imagine something like someone came in to rob the store with a gun. And here's what happens out in Bugtussle. Whoever's working behind the counter, well, I got a gun too. Let's go. Woo! We're going to have ourselves a little shooting match here. That's right. We're going to play a little Smash Brothers. We're going to play a little Call of Duty. My gun's bigger than yours. He didn't die, though. And then there was another one. And we do have drug bust out there. Apparently, they take it pretty serious in Palestine. Some dude was busted with, and I love the weights on this because they go back and forth between like our measurement system and metric, like real measurements and metric. So this guy over the weekend was arrested in Palestine, not Palestine, not the protest. He's not being occupied by the Israelis. No, the real Palestine over in East Texas, not the cheap copy over in the Middle East. They found 8 pounds of meth. That sounds like a lot. Like, isn't meth usually sold in like grams or like little bags? How much would 8 pounds of meth be? Would that be like a couch cushion? Or like a throw pillow full of meth? Kind of sounds like a lot. Oh, Sean, he's pulling his mic down. You've been weighing a lot of meth lately?
It's like Walter White out there in Bugtussle.
Look, 4 pounds of marijuana, which kind of sounds like, how big would that be? It'd be like isn't like a pound the size of a brick? I don't know. And then 14 grams of Xanax. What? But then he's not selling that. That's his own little personal side stash, I imagine, because a gram's a paper clip. I know that. And so what is the Xanax? Like 1 gram per pill? I don't know these things, but yeah, that's what the news looks like in Bugtussle. So yeah, if you want to do the update, we'll do a Bugtussle update, but you are not going to be impressed. It is not exciting. There's not bullets flying everywhere. We don't have great scandals. No one's embezzling bazillions of dollars. Actually, there was a story a few years ago where someone embezzled like $18 million from Collins Street Bakery. Ooh, that was a huge scandal in East Texas because Collins Street Bakery, based out of Corsicana, is like legendary. But that's it. What did we do on Friday nights as a kid?
Yeah, like in high school.
Oh, well, we spent a lot of time cruising the parking lot at the Broadway Square Mall. There was a Sonic that had a beach volleyball court, and we would just post up there and get like an ocean water slush and make that last 3 hours, play volleyball with your friends. We had a lot of pasture parties. You know what pasture parties are? Where you all get your cars in a circle facing each other in the middle of nowhere, turn on your lights, and you turn your radio to the same station. You have yourself a little club. Right? And if the cops come and bust you, you just run into the woods and hope there's not a creek that you fall into, because sometimes you do. Anyway, that's your updates from Bugtussle. Coming up next, we're going to do entertainment news with the great Pugs Moran. So stay put. This is The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.